In a world full of magic and miracles, there lived a smart girl named Ellie. Her family has lived in an ancient castle for generations. There are many secrets hidden in this castle, the most mysterious of which is a time clock tower. It is said that this clock tower can travel through time and change the past or the future, but only those with pure hearts and fearless courage can unlock its power. Ellie has been curious about the time clock tower since she was a child. Her grandfather was the guardian of the castle and often told her the story of the clock tower. Grandfather always warned her, time is a powerful force, and changing the past may bring unexpected consequences. When using it, you must be very careful. Unfortunately, Ellie's family is facing a huge crisis. The village outside the castle is suffering from an unprecedented disaster. Blizzards for several months have destroyed the crops in the village, and the villagers are hungry and cold. Ellie's parents tried to find a solution, but no matter how hard they tried, they could not resist this natural disaster. One night, Ellie stood in front of the time clock tower, thinking about her grandfather's teachings. A bold idea came to her mind. If she could go back to the past and stop the blizzard from happening, could she save the village and her family? With this idea, Ellie decided to take a risk. She took the ancient key left by her grandfather and walked into the time clock tower. The interior of the clock tower was dark and mysterious, surrounded by ancient clocks and gears. With the sound of Ellie's footsteps, the hands of the clocks made a slight ticking sound, as if whispering the mystery of time. Ellie walked to the center of the clock tower and saw the legendary time clock. The clock tower was towering into the sky, and the clock face was engraved with mysterious runes and flashing golden light. Ellie carefully inserted the key into the keyhole of the clock. With a heavy click, the time clock slowly turned. The gears of time began to reverse, and the air in the clock tower seemed to change accordingly. Ellie felt that she was wrapped by a powerful force. The scene in front of her became blurred, and time seemed to be going backwards. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself standing on the edge of the village a few months ago, and the blizzard had not yet come. She knew she had to find the source of the blizzard and stop it from happening. Ellie remembered that her grandfather had mentioned that deep in the village, there was a forgotten magic forest where an old wizard with the ability to control the weather lived. Legend has it that the wizard's power is extremely powerful, but his temperament is strange, and no one knows whether he will help others. Ellie made up her mind and went to the magic forest alone. Passing through the dense bushes, she finally found the wizard's residence deep in the forest. It was a house woven from huge trees and vines, with ice crystals and snowflakes hanging on the roof. Ellie mustered up her courage and knocked on the wizard's door. The door slowly opened, and an old wizard with a white beard and a black robe appeared in front of Ellie. His eyes were sharp, as if he could see through everything. "Little girl, why are you here?" The wizard's voice was low and majestic. Ellie bowed deeply and pleaded, "Respected wizard, please forgive my presumption. I come from the future. The village is suffering from a blizzard, and many people are suffering. I beg you, can you stop the blizzard and save my home?" The wizard was silent for a moment, as if thinking about something. Then he sighed and said, "The blizzard is part of the power of nature and cannot be controlled at will. Even if I can change it, it will break the balance of nature and bring greater disasters." Ellie's heart sank after hearing this, but she did not give up. She remembered her grandfather's words and knew that the cost of changing time might be huge. She thought for a moment and said firmly, "If the blizzard cannot be changed, then please teach me how to help the villagers survive this disaster. I am willing to pay any price as long as I can save them." The wizard looked at Ellie's determined eyes and finally nodded. You are a brave child. I can teach you an ancient magic that can make the earth rejuvenated. But remember, using this magic requires a huge price, and you must be mentally prepared." Ellie agreed without hesitation. The wizard taught her a spell to awaken the power of the earth. This magic can make the seeds in the frozen soil sprout and grow quickly and resist the severe cold. But this magic will consume the vitality of the caster, and the caster may lose many years of life. Ellie knew that this was a difficult choice, but she had no choice. She memorized the spell, expressed deep gratitude to the wizard, and returned to the village. When she returned to the village, the blizzard had begun to brew. The cold wind was howling, and the snowflakes were flying. Ellie stood in the center of the village, closed her eyes, clasped her hands together, and began to recite the spell silently. She felt the power deep in the earth awakening, and a warm breath gradually filled the cold air. Seeing this scene, the villagers gathered around. They were surprised to find that the seeds in the frozen soil began to sprout in the cold winter, and life miraculously bloomed on the ice and snow-covered land. The crops in the village were saved, and the threat of the blizzard was no longer so terrible. Ellie used all her strength and finally completed the spell. She felt weak, but her heart was full of satisfaction. Although she knew that she might lose some years of her youth, it was all worth it to help others. As time passed, Ellie became a hero in the village. Under her leadership, the villagers rebuilt their homes and survived the severe winter. Her story spread throughout the kingdom and became a legend among people. Ellie never regretted her choice. She understood that true courage was not to change the past, but to bravely find solutions and take on her own responsibilities when facing difficulties. Even though her life was short, her soul was sublimated in this adventure. The bell of the time clock tower still echoed in the castle, witnessing Ellie's journey of changing the past and rewriting the future. The big bell in the clock tower recorded all this, reminding future generations that although the power of time is strong, it is the brave and determined heart that really changes destiny.